Hello, conservative warriors. My name is John Di Lemme, the founder of Conservative Business Journal and the host of one of the most censored and banned real news podcast shows, the CBJ, which stands for Conservative Business Journal, the CBJ Real News Podcast Show. What a week we have coming up this week. Tonight, you're going to have an opportunity of really kind of sneaking on into a conversation that Brad Barton and I had at Professor Toto's retreat in Guntersville, Alabama. Right, Christy? Brad is one of my greatest personal friends. We love Brad Barton. We love his wife. We love his family. I love his heart. You know, we have two different accents. We have two different looks, but we're exactly the same at heart. We love America. We love God. We love the country, and we love the truth. And Brad's going to talk about sacrifice. As I heard Brad share a few words from the main platform of Professor Toto's retreat last weekend, I said to Brad, I said, let's have a sit down. I want you to unpack these three quotes that you shared from stage. And I had an opportunity to share from stage with Brad, had an opportunity to be immersed with so many of you guys. I want to give you a little bit of faith tonight. A conservative is a person that stands firm on traditional values and refuses to compromise on those values for anyone or anything. Remember, we're one of the most banned, censored, suppressed voices on the internet today for conservatives. And those of you that are on tonight watching either through Rumble or through any replay on our podcast platform, there's two major ways to follow us. And I'm going to get right into the interview with the great Brad Barton, a great person in front of ours. Make sure you grab a pen that writes. You guys can follow us on Telegram at CBJ Real News. And those of you watching this live in the video replay, you will see along the bottom there, you will see all the information. Follow us on Telegram at CBJ Real News. Follow us on Rumble at CBJ Real News. And ultimately, you can subscribe to my email database. And by visiting conservativebusinessjournal.com, that's our main website, or you can visit cbjupdates.com. Guys, get ready. It's going to be an awesome show. I'm so excited. I'm bringing it to you, Brad. And it's a casual sit down, casual conversation. Grab a pen that writes, take some notes. And then when I conclude with Brad, I'm going to show you, before we were censored, how many viewers we had live on shows, just to prove to all of you that as conservatives, they're going to be after you. But that's why we stand our ground. We stand firm. And like Brad discusses, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to sacrifice for this country, for your family, for God, for your faith? So guys, get ready. It's a very, very powerful, powerful interview with me and Brad. Hey guys, John Di Lemme here, the founder of Conservative Business Journal and the host of the CBJ Real News Podcast Show. Kind of a unique show. I got my buddy Brad Barton here. Brad, you're awesome, my man.
Thank you, brother.
You know, God connected us. Many of you were here. I was on Brad's show, and many of them, they've seen us together at events, and many of them said, we guys got to do another show together. And we have different accents, but same heart.
That's right.
We love the country. We love family. We love prayer. We love God. We love fighting for this country. And we're at Professor Toto's event
down here in Alabama.
We're excited. You're going to be in Naples, Florida with us at the event.
Oh, yeah.
January. So we're bringing the boys down. I'm going to have Toto stuff banging that stage. Whoa, going. Brad's going to come on down and bring the heat to Naples. But you always talk about sacrifice. You talk about freedom, Brad. And you're, like you said, an old history teacher, an old coach. And just give your mindset about the history of America, how great America is and what we're fighting for.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, the thing about it is, we're where we are today because we haven't been sacrificing. And I'm talking about you and I, John. I'm talking about the American public. I'm talking about conservatives out here. We've been fat and happy. We've let go. We've been asleep at the wheel. And we're wondering why we're getting what we're getting. Well, it's because we haven't been engaged. That's right. We haven't been involved. We haven't made any sacrifice. We've been living high on the hog, enjoying life. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you got to keep up with the house or things pile up on you. You know, you got to take the trash out sometimes.
That's right.
And so, you know, the thing I was sharing earlier today with some of the folks out here was simply, you know, that, you know, the thing you got to understand is anything worthwhile is going to take sacrifice. It's not free.
It's big.
Anything worthwhile in life takes sacrifice.
Grab a pen and write it. You know, main note takers. Grab a pen, take a note, write it down. Takes sacrifice. Anything? Say it again, Brad.
Anything that is worthwhile in life takes sacrifice. And you know, and if you look at, you know, our founding fathers, you know, there was a couple of quotes I shared out there, and if you want me to, I'll just
go
share
right ahead.
It
was tremendous. It was great day today.
You know, Thomas Jefferson said, "How little do my countrymen know what precious blessings they are in possession of." which no other people on earth enjoy.
Say it again.
How little do my countrymen know what precious blessings they are in possession of, which no other people on earth enjoy.
What I like about that, Brad, is in possession of.
Mm-hmm.
See, we Americans possess. That's why the communists, there's no Democratic Party left. They're communists. They want our God. They want our guns. They want our Jesus. They want our freedom. They want our family. They want the rights for you're a husband. I met your wife. I met your mother-in-law. I met your son. He's got a great family man, a great godly man. They want that because of communists.
Yeah.
You know, that's we possess what scares them.
Mm-hmm.
What scares them is Judeo-Christian values.
Well, here's the thing, John. What's sad is my next quote here by John Adams, who was, I think, our second president, wasn't he? Second or third?
That's a Christy question.
That's a Christy question.
That's Christy.
I taught history. I should know.
Yeah.
But he was one of the founding fathers. And it was John Quincy Adams' dad, John Adams. And, you know, he was quoted, and this is probably the most powerful one in my mind I've heard. And he says, John Adams was quoted as saying, "You will never know how much it has cost my generation to preserve your freedom. I hope you will make good use of it." You will never know how much it has cost my generation. These are people that gave up their entire lives, their fortunes, their goals, their dreams. They gave it all up and they sacrificed it so that we could sit here today. And, you know, it's like I was sharing out there. I'm ready to go to war, man. I'm ready.
We the people fight back.
We the people fight back. I mean, it's, you know, I'm 51 years old, John.
Kid, I'm 56. I'll be 56 coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
My dad's 92. My mom's
90.
90.
Neither one of us look like it. We look both like we're 29.
29,
something like that.
Holding 27. Victory. But let's go back to the quote again, Brad. This is very, I'm a quote guy. I love quotes. Yo, what does that say? You
will never know how much it has cost my generation to preserve your freedom.
And that's really a life of somebody being. Yeah, we're just recording something. That's okay. So that's okay. We're live at an event. In other words, you'll never know. There's lives have been given. And one thing that really, you know, we were at your event, we the people reunion on September 11th. It's a disgrace to see how Americans forgot that day, September 11th, that changed America. And all the vets in America, we're free because of you. And that's what infuriates me. Is every single veteran should be getting every benefit. Look, guys, real quick, if any of you are on Facebook and you're having some issues, we have close to right now on Rumble. I have close to 40,000 followers in Rumble. We have about 6,100 watching live right now. So make sure you do follow us on Rumble at CBJ Real News, CBJ Real News channel. And Michelle, you're awesome. 61 already. And this Professor Toto, my man, is watching on Rumble. We love you, brother. This was recorded, Professor Toto, in the ballroom at your event. So we're excited. Remember, Professor Toto and Brad Barton will be live here to kick off the year 2022 at a We the People Fight Back event live here in Naples. And you guys remember, you guys can always inquire more about that. Event's going to sell out way in advance. And you guys can always call or text us at 561-847-3467, 561-847-3467, or you can email team @conservativebusinessjournal.com, or simply visit the site wethepeopleFightBackEvent.com. wethepeopleFightBackEvent.com. It's going to be epic. January 7th, January 8th, beautiful Naples, Florida. Professor Toto and Brad Barton will have some special sweet tea for my man, right? But Professor Toto, you're awesome. Once again, guys, make sure you do follow us on Rumble at CBJ Real News, and make sure you do follow us on Telegram at CBJ Real News. As I sent out to my email database, all of you that are living and breathing on Facebook, it's just a matter of time, and it's game on. So, guys, here we go. Back to Brad Barton's sit down, and this is behind the scenes at Up My Man, Professor Toto, Pastor Shane Vaughn, my brother, who's awesome, dressed for success. So here we go, guys. Back to Brad Barton and our sit down. Yeah, YouTube. I've been banned, Michael. I'm banned on YouTube for life. So we are on Rumble rocking, and here we go, guys. That illegal aliens are getting. And we have to protect our vets, protect our law enforcement. That's one of the most powerful quotes is we're free in America because of the sacrifice of this country.
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
And we so quickly forget that. And that's one of our biggest problems is we don't have any gratitude.
That's right.
We have no gratitude. We're selfish.
That's right.
We've become a country of selfish. And I'm not talking about the communists. I'm talking about Christians, conservatives that are only worried about their own family, their own self, and there's nothing, God and country has to come before.
That's right.
And so, and then the last one I was stating, John, was by Samuel Adams. Okay. I'm not talking about the beer. Okay. Samuel Adams was one of the founding
fathers. Nobody drinks beer in Tennessee.
No.
There's no beer in Tennessee.
It's all moonshine whiskey. Okay. Anyway, he said, Samuel Adams said, if you love wealth better than liberty, the tranquility of servitude better than the emanating contest of freedom, go home from us in peace. We ask not your counsel or your arms. Crouch down and lick the hands that feed you, and may your chains sit lightly upon you, and may our posterity forget that you were our countrymen.
Shit, it's so deep. I could go for an hour and a half and that.
Hey, let me tell you something. People say, man,
Look,
that is brutal, Brad. I mean, are you really saying forget? Yes, I'm saying it. In fact, it ain't harsh enough, brother. It's 1776 again. Right now, it's 1776, John. And if we don't get 2020 fixed, it ain't gonna matter.
I'm not. That's why I love Brad like a brother. That's why we're connected at the heart. We're not moving on.
No, I'm not going to move on.
We're not moving on until the election fraud is exposed. You cannot move on. See, we're not paid conservative pundits. I've done 4 workshops here, and like Brad has spoken at the event. I've spoken at the event. Just reliving before I was censored and suppressed. They're scared of our voices. The truth. There's an enormous amount of voter fraud. They stole it from Larry Elder, Governor Newsom. And Governor Newsom now is going to get vengeance against California.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the devil does. The devil gets a little bit of vengeance, So, share it with everyone, just from your heart a little bit. And just what does we the people mean to you as a dad, as a godly man, as a husband, as an entrepreneur, very successful in business for 20 years and a huge influence in the conservative world? I tell you guys, this is I say this respectfully, one of the greatest gifts God has given me is I've interviewed some of the greatest influences. Obviously, Brad Barton's a great influence. This week, we have Ann Vanderstill live tomorrow night on my show at 8:30 p.m. Then we have Dr. Brian Artis live on my show, 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday evening. That's October 5th for Ann Vanderstill, 8:30. October 6th for Dr. Brian Artis, 8:30 Eastern live. And then we have a special afternoon show with Pastor Arthur Pawlowski at 4 p.m. Correct, Christy? On Thursday, October 7th. So, guys, we're bringing the best of the best to you. So make sure you do follow us on CBJ Real News on Telegram. Make sure you do follow us on Rumble at CBJ Real News. And I appreciate you guys supporting, sponsoring. I appreciate you guys chatting. I appreciate you guys at the Rumble Rants on the Rumble right now. We have close to 7,000 people live on Rumble. So, and in Naples, it is January 7th, January 8th. January 7th, January 8th in Naples, Florida. And my wife, who's the co-producer here, she will drop the websites and all the comments. And that is WeThePeopleFightBackEvent.com, or just get a hold of us, WeThePeopleFightBackEvent.com. And what you're going to hear Brad answer right now is a powerful question. This is about being a dad, about being a godly husband, about being a man of a house. It's a very powerful question. And God's given me a gift to interview. And also on January 7th, January 8th, here in Naples, Florida, will be Pastor Greg Locke will also be here. And Tom Homan, the former director of ICE. So that's why, guys, Facebook is going to mess with the connections. Make sure you go over to Rumble at CBJ Real News as our channel, CBJ Real News. And also those of you obviously on the audio replay, when you guys visit cbjrealnews.com, you will see that there it says get the app now. And you could put the Conservative Business Journal podcast app on your smartphone, and then you never miss an episode. So here we go. Back to a great question that I asked through the gift that God has given me to Brad Barton. This is awesome. Well,
I think it comes down to sacrifice. I mean, I hate to keep saying that word.
It's good. It's a word. It's good.
But, like John Adams said, they sacrificed everything for us. And if it takes me sacrificing everything for my children to have the life that we've had,
That's right.
I mean, my life's about over. I'm 51 years old.
Well, my dad's 92. You're just warming up.
Okay, well, maybe
And the
so.
Bible says 125.
Okay.
Just stay away from the moonshine and drink more water.
Okay, good. I don't drink
Because-
alcohol, but
Because God needs the warriors.
that's right. Well, I tell people we are where we are today because our sacrifice is so little. With little sacrifice comes little reward. I mean, if you don't sacrifice anything, you're not going to get anything in return.
That's right.
But with great sacrifice comes great reward. And the two greatest examples of that is our military.
Right.
What they've done for us, some have given all. They've given everything. All gave some, but some gave all, like the saying says. And they've given everything, their blood, sweat, and tears, for us to have this opportunity.
That's right.
And it's not something we just pass down, like Reagan says, in our bloodstream. You've got to teach your family. And that's what we're striving to do now because we've dropped the ball for so long. But the greatest sacrifice, which yielded the greatest reward in history, was Christ dying on the cross for us.
That's right.
And because his sacrifice was so great, the reward is so great.
That's right.
And for all of us. But again, it goes back to the principle of when you sacrifice equals reward. Now, if you want a lot of reward, you got to have a lot of sacrifice.
That's a key point. We talk about conservative, the root of Conservative Business Journal, the root of CBJ Real News. Conservative means a person that refuses to compromise their integrity or traditional values for anything or anyone. Now, I want to ask you a question. As a dad, you have any children?
3.
What do you want to say to the parents out there to raise? I met your son. He's a godly man. You look at it. My dad is 92, and he'll be watching this. We'll always say, you look at children, and you see their parents. For you, one of your greatest accomplishments is in raising your children. I don't have children. We have our nieces and our nephews, but what do you want to say to people out there who are raising children, Brad, right now in such a anti-conservative, godly world? What have you done to be an example for your kids?
Well, I tell you what, I guess I'm not going to really say it to them as much as I'm going to say it to myself, John. And I think before you can teach your kids, you've got to walk the walk. You've got to set the example.
That's right.
Are you spending time with God alone every day? I know I fail in that a lot of times. Are you being who you need to be? That song, I want to be like Daddy because he wants to be like Jesus or something like that.
That's right.
And that's a strong, strong song. I mean, does your son, does your daughter want to be like you because you love Jesus? I don't know. But I think that is something that we have to do, and we have to be real with our kids. We have to teach them the truth of God's word. We have to teach them the truth of America. We have to instill it upon their hearts and, write it upon their heart. And you do that by being not just talking the talk, but walking the walk.
Okay.
Because see, in our businesses,
Look, here's the deal. I got to say it. Look, here's the deal.
Yeah, look, here's the deal. I say that a lot, dog.
It's awesome.
Okay, so all right, so I'm gonna do this for you. Here's the deal, folks. Okay, here's the deal. All right, it's and I taught this in my business, and you've taught it as well. I know because we've been in the same type of business. People don't do what you tell them to do.
Yeah.
Okay, your kids are not going to do what you tell them to do. And you might say, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna bust their tail." Well, okay, we did that too. But I'm just saying, overall, when they grow up, they're not going to do what you instructed them to do. They're going to do what? What they saw you do on a daily basis.
Yes. Action.
See, it's not do this. It's monkey see, monkey do. Okay.
That's right.
It's duplication in our business.
Oh,
right?
yeah, duplication.
And so you have to be walking the walk, not just talking the talk. And that's where we failed. And that's where we've got to pick up as a society and as conservative Christians. And we've got to, and we've got to engage other people. And we've got to, in other words, it can't just be John and Brad sitting here talking. John and Brad have got to engage and inspire other Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Joe, and Lonzo, and Leonard, and Sally, and Susie. And then they've got to do what? build their army,
That's right.
and build their army. And this thing could spiderweb into millions of people.
That's we the people.
That's where the
people are. As conservative constitutional Christians, not Republicans, because they're rhinos on that bill recently, because they paid politicians. We won't go down that path. You hear me talk about the media. I've had a zillion conversations with people here about, I'm not going to speak in code. I'm going to say vaccine. I'm going to say gene therapy. I'm going to say Biden's a freak show. I'm going to say it's a fraud. I'm going to say illegal alien. I'm going to speak the truth.
Yep.
I have to answer to God.
That's right.
Because God is the media. That's why I named it. That's why the mainstream media for me is the Bible. That's the news.
Yeah.
That's the good news. And Jesus spoke in red, so he was conservative.
That's right.
And he said to fish off the right side of the boat. So you go to the right.
That's right.
Moses got a tap from the left.
He did say that, didn't he?
That's right.
And
So God knew all this. God knew that the media would destroy us. So for those of you, your Telegram, the main way if you use Telegram, what's your Telegram profile?
Hey, just the little talk show with Brad. It's you just got to type it in there. I should have
the little
found
talk show.
an easier one like CBJ.
But
Okay, but you got to type it out. The little LIL apostrophe. Talk is a separate word. Show is a separate word. The little talk show with, okay, I do a W, and then / Brad.
It's awesome. And we'll have that. Obviously, we're publishing this on a podcast, so we'll have a link in it. But it's awesome to see how God connected us, even how God connected Toto. From my main mentor, Chuck, you're watching this. Chuck was in network marketing with me for 30 years. And
it's amazing how God's bringing the warriors
really
together.
Warriors.
It's like you say, it's a Gideon season.
It really is a Gideon season. And now we got the David and Goliath going. We got to eventually, you got to pick the slingshot up. Then you got to, when the slingshot hits, then you got to cut their head off. To me, that's exposing the fraud.
Yeah.
God gave me that word about 3 weeks ago. This is the first time I really saw me even. I'm really teaching a message more like, you got to pick the slingshot up, hit him, and then here's what I'm going to do. And use the sword was from Goliath. But Brad's message too, like I love when you say you start your little talk show and God's, because your wife said, Kristen, who's awesome, who you met, she's awesome. And
she busts my chops every night.
Are you going to go and do that little talk show?
Yeah, she'd say, you doing your little talk show tonight?
And now the little talk show is an influence, and all of us are influencers. I mean, what's exciting too is we're going to have an event coming up in Naples, January 7th, January 8th. We're going to have Professor Toto and Brad. Brad's going to open the event. No, Brad's like me. Brad will never be the first speaker at an event.
I'm no good until afternoon.
No,
it's got to be after 12 o'clock before I'm good.
So we're going to have a great event in Naples, Florida, January 7th, January 8th. And obviously, you guys can get a hold of us how to get to that event. But we're excited. We're excited God connected us. And, for many months, they were reaching out to Christy. So you got to connect because my wife's from Tennessee. This is many months. And now we're like great friends. And God's connecting the warriors. Yeah. Just the heart of warriors.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Right now, I'm absolutely torn because I've got to get back to Chattanooga. I've got so much to do, John. It's overwhelming, but it tears me up because I don't want to leave y'all.
Well,
I don't want to leave here because we're God.
This is what you can't mess with godly wisdom. God is putting the warriors together. God's lining up the Davids to take out the Goliaths. And like I said, you got to pick the slingshot up. You got to pick the sword up. And we'll have Pastor Greg Locke will be down in Naples, Florida too. Like my pastor.
Hey.
He's awesome, Greg Locke. How about
I love that guy.
That's what God's line.
Talking about picking up the sword, brother. He'll pick it up.
Don't be fearful. Step out in faith. God's looking for
warriors.
People that will step out and protect the family, protect traditional values. You know me and transgender, some ugly guy with a wig on comes in the blaze when we going out dead. They're all ugly too with the wig, right? You ever see him?
Most hideous looking stuff I've ever seen.
That's a good looking transgender. That's wrong. That's just wrong. It's just wrong.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
But people go, how's it happen? It's because just a mask is just the beginning of compliance.
That's right.
It's just a mask.
Yeah.
It's just
a vaccine.
It's just a snake.
It's just
the snake won't kill you.
It's just for 2 weeks, for 15 days.
It's almost 19, 20 months now. Mm-hmm. You got people wearing shields, goggles, and
I saw a guy the other day drive down an interstate on a motorcycle with no helmet on and a mask.
That's in Tennessee.
I almost rolled the window down and said, "What are you trying to do? Keep bugs from hitting your teeth?"
That's just how crazy is that. That's the control of the media. That's why God knew the media would control people. But that's why the Bible's called the good news, because God knew the news would be the arm and the megaphone
Mouthpiece of Satan.
of socialism and communism, control people's minds. It's powerful.
Yeah.
Awesome, brother. Thank you, my man. It's
Love
awesome.
you guys.
Brad Barton live. We the people. Look, here's the deal. Where's your sweet tea?
I run out. I left it in the car. I got to go get some more. I'm
losing it.
Get me on an IV.
Just pump it in. God bless you guys. Thank you. So, guys, that was an interview I did with Brad at Professor Toto's event. I appreciate all you guys. It was powerful with Brad Barton. And make sure you guys rewatch that. What we discussed about sacrifice, standing for your family. So once again, that was a special guest tonight. Was Brad Barton bringing you the real news? Watch, those of you watching this during a replay, rewind it back. But I have to tell you, today on Facebook, what happened was the whistleblower tomorrow is going to give a deposition in Congress. Basically, when something happens and someone's about to be scammed and lied to, they shut the office down to clean everything out. So many of you dealt with Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and a lot of big tech issues. They're getting ready, guys. God is moving. So that's what happened today. It's real simple. I'll be covering more of that tomorrow night with Ann Vanderstil. We'll be live on my show at 8:30 on October 5th. Live, we'll be covering the Steel Truth. And then I will be on Ann's show also tomorrow night. She'll be interviewing me. We'll be recording that tomorrow afternoon. I'll be airing on Steel Truth tomorrow night. But I have to tell you, what Brad said about sacrifice. You have to ask yourself a question. Are you going to sacrifice it all? We were completely banned and censored on YouTube for life. We were demonetized in Google. We were shut down, censored, and banned. And that's what, I'm so proud of all of you that have stepped up to the plate. And I'm so proud of you that are supporters now. And we're very proud of the conservative marketplace. I want to share a quick word from our sponsor very quickly. And then I'm going to recap this episode. I'm going to give you some more intel from today. There were some things happening. So let me show you the conservativemarketplace.com. We have a full line of our Faith Stands Fear Online. We have our conservative marketplace, swagwear, attire, gear, and swag. We have Dr. Krista's recommended health supplements, and it is a tremendous store. So let me just share with you. It's a conservative marketplace. There's 22 businesses that are conservatives, that are supporters and show supporters. Let me play that real quick, and then I will be right back. Great episode with Brad Barton tonight. And guys, once again, thank you for supporting the show. So making all this possible, supporting Conservative Business Journal by visiting conservativemarketplace.com. Once again, conservativemarketplace.com. We got a tremendous wide variety of I know Jeff Preston is on tonight, the #1 conservative Christian artist, correct? His artwork's available at conservativemarketplace.com. He will also be at the event here at Brad Barton and Tom Homan, Professor Toto, Pastor Greg Locke, January 7th, January 8th here in beautiful Naples, Florida. And I appreciate you guys. You visit conservativemarketplace.com, and thousands of you on Rumble tonight. Maybe it's the first time you're seeing me air and seeing what's happening. I want to show you something. I want to show you how scared they got. Here's a video, screenshot of me with my niece. My niece is 11 years of age, Lexi. And if you take a look at that, it says 137,000 viewers. 137,000 views. I do apologize. I realize it's the wrong picture on there. The red circle's not around it. If you look on the lower left there, it says 137,000 viewers. Okay, pay attention here. We had 81 million views of that show with my niece on. 81 million views on Twitter. What happened? They got scared of conservative voices. Then they censored us, demonetized us, and shut us down. And instead of us cowering down and backing down, we made a decision. We made a decision to step up and go right after them. You know, eventually all the prayer, you have to pick up the slingshot. You have to pick up the slingshot, say enough is enough, walk out, one rock, actually three rocks, but the one rock hit Goliath, knock him down so hard that the sword he was holding fell. David picked up the sword. And he cut off Goliath's head. That's a very, very powerful scenario. He actually cut off Goliath's head with his own sword. So I challenge all of you, re-listen to the interview with Brad Barton, and you look about the word sacrifice. You talk about how God's lining the warriors up. And here's another great picture here, and I have to make it a little bit larger here. That's what is 48,000 views. 48,000 views. And once again, I will get the correct one up there. It doesn't have the red circle on it. I need your assistance, that Christy. It's not taken when I sent it to Kelly. It's the 48,000 views it shows before we got censored and demonetized. Why is that very important? That's very important due to the fact that those of you have to realize that you're going to get censored and banned when you're speaking conservative values. And that's why, one of my greatest quotes, and I say this by the grace of God, and this is all available in the conservative marketplace. This is a great quote. It's a lion. It says, courage is just a word until you take a risk. Until you take a risk, everyone say risk. Until you take a risk based only in your faith. Only in your faith. Wow. In God and your God-given talents. There are those of you listening to this right now saying, enough is enough. I'm going to step out and have the courage. You see, that's why you have to fill your faith gates, your eyes and your ears. And what went on today was tomorrow the Facebook whistleblower is going to be in front of Congress. They shut down the scam to remove all potential evidence. Guys, it is a war, but God always wins. And as I said in the interview with Brad, the mainstream media for me is the Bible. That's why God called it the good news. God knew that the media would destroy this country. And that's why I challenge all of you as you're listening. Many of you, our surge on Rumble skyrocketed. Make sure you guys do follow me on Telegram at CBJ Real News. Make sure you guys do follow us also on Rumble at CBJ Real News. And then that's our channel on Telegram is CBJ Real News. And that's also our channel on Rumble, CBJ Real News. And then also all of my books are available on conservativemarketplace.com. And all of Jeff Preston's artwork is there. Guys, we conservatives, there's more of us than them. And we have to make that decision to expose the evil. But we can't do this alone. They want to quarantine you. They want to silence you. Do you know what went on with people when they lost Facebook? They lost Facebook. Today, people were freaking out. That's what the cabal wants to do. They want to quarantine you. They want to fill you with fear. They want to manipulate your mind. As I teach all the time, socialism manipulates your mind. Capitalism maximizes your mind. I want to speak into someone's life tonight. You are a born champion. You are a patriot. You love this country. You love God. Stand up, pick up the slingshot, step out in faith and go. And realize what's going on. God is moving. Yes, there's a lot of movement with the military. Why? Because the military took an oath to this called the Constitution. So there's a lot going on with the military. And God has the plan. They go, Joan, what's the plan? God knows the plan. Realize when we're at Moses Pharaoh moment, the same water that was parted to allow Moses to walk through is the same water that destroyed and killed Pharaoh. Well, the same thing that God's going to use potentially for the ungodly, God will use the ungodly for the godly. So it's so important. It's so important. And that's why people are lining people up. Like, here's a great picture of my wife took of me and Brad, the bromance, right? Yeah. There's me and Brad called The Bromance Continues. And that's Brad smiling. Brad's kind of trying to hold my hand there or something, right, Christy? And he's looking at me. That was taken at Professor Toto's event out in Alabama. So it is so, so important. All of you, I'm speaking to all of you. Do not let fear get a hold of you. Stay faithful. Stay strong. Get away from people and get around strong people. You know, faith stands and fear runs. Tom, my man, Tom G, who's one of the co-founders of Trumpsters Tuesday Therapy. I'll be speaking for them for the third time. They have one of the greatest organizations across America here in South Florida. I'll be speaking for Tom and Lisa on Tuesday, October 13th. Correct, Christy? Tuesday, October 13th. A week from tomorrow, I'll be live in Palm Beach with Tom G, who's on. And guys, any of my live events, any questions, you can always feel free to call or text us at 561-847-3467, 561-847-3467, or email us at team@conservativebusinessjournal.com. But one of my favorite quotes, and this quote is the favorite among all the patriots, is faith stands and fear runs. Remember, all of this artwork, which is printed here locally from a local conservative business, is available on conservativemarketplace.com. Faith stands and fear runs. Guys, what are you doing? I'm standing by faith. I'm not moving on from 2020. I'm standing by faith. Faith stands and fear runs. And all of you, it's time to realize that God is moving. What went on today with big tech and all the shutdown is just the beginning. Those are just a few kind of flashes into what's going to happen here in America, right, Christy? Right. And I want to thank the tens of thousands of you on Rumble, because, you know, we had over 2 million subscribers on YouTube. We had 5,400 videos. I've had Mike Lindell on my show 4 times. I've had Aaron Perini. I've had Liz Harrington. I just reran one of my podcasts with Liz Wheeler, with Brigadier General Robert Spalding. So it's so, so important, guys. Make sure, and all of you that have a smartphone, make sure you download our app when you go to the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. Just thumb on in Conservative Business Journal. It's our podcast app. Subscribe, and it's on. It is October 12th, right? It's 7 days from tomorrow, right? October 12th for Trumpsters Tuesday, correct, Christy? Okay, because I'm just going back and forth with some numbers there, and so because today's the 4th, tomorrow's the 5th, 7th, October 12th. Yes, the 12th. Trumpsters Tuesday Therapy, and guys, you know, we've traveled the entire country. We went on the road for 9 days speaking. I could tell you, there's more of us than them out there. But you have to realize that people go, "What's the plan?" The plan is for you to realize God is moving, and are you going to be one of the 300 that Gideon can depend on? Are you going to stay the course and stay faithful? Make sure you watch all my shows. I've done 6 shows with Dr. Betsy Eads, Dr. Elizabeth Eads, a.k.a. Dr. Betsy. 2 shows with Dr. Krista Kamensky, exposing everything with the vaccine, COVID. We interviewed a whistleblower nurse for an hour and 45 minutes. And that's why it's so important to make sure you guys are tied into what's happening. And make sure you rewatch the show tonight with Brad. Listen to sacrifice. Listen to being a godly man, a husband, strong for the country, and willing to sacrifice. Willing to sacrifice. You know, today when they did the little shutdown of the big tech, it freaked people out because some of you live and breathe on technology. Social media is getting out around people. Social media is being around live people and live events. It is so ridiculously important. So with that said, Christy, any points for tonight? Great show, and I want to thank. Hats off for Brad Barton as we interviewed Brad. That was a pre-recorded message we did at Professor Toto's event out in Alabama, and I do want to thank all of you that are on Rumble. Remember, you guys can follow us on Rumble at CBJ Real News. CBJ Real News is our Rumble channel, and our Telegram channel is CBJ Real News. CBJ Real News, and that's we go live every night. We do a show every night. And make sure you do subscribe to my email database, because if all the social media shuts down, you want to make sure you're tied in. And the way you can do that is you guys can visit CBJ updates. It's real simple. CBJ, and then the word updates. UPDATES. CBJ UPD8. CBJ updates. CBJupdates.com. So it's so important. And it's so important to be tied in. And look, when there's a war going on, the military is never going to give the enemy the answer to where they're going. You see, it's called surprise attack. Right now, there's a lot going on here in America because we all know about 330 something days ago, the election was stolen. And right now, China and everything going on with Afghanistan, the mail-in ballots, quarantine, everything going on with COVID, the vaccine, it's a war right now. So we as warriors have to fight the great fight of faith and stay strong and stay committed. And that's why you want to stay tied in, get the right information, get empowered, get encouraged. And those of you that don't believe that faith is the answer, then you're not a Christian, because Christianity is based upon faith. And that's why you have to stand strong. And every day, as Lynn Wood has said many times, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And are you going to be able to handle the getting worse process? But when you have faith, when you have faith, you can handle that. And I appreciate you guys. You know, we had a couple of people do some Rumble rants tonight, so I appreciate you guys on Rumble. It's kind of like the super chat, super sticker, which we've been doing that for. Remember, we've been doing Conservative Business Journal for years. You know, that's why we are rerunning some of my past broadcasts, some of my past interviews, and it is so important. It is, you know, so important because I see too many people get manipulated. That's why every time I speak live and all the conversations, right, Christy?
Yes.
All the conversations, people being encouraged, being empowered, tears being shed, they feel stronger. The devil hates faithful strength. I'll say it again. The devil hates faithful strength. And let me just drop this bomb. Let me just drop this. If you take 2021 minus 1776, you get 200, you get 245. Now, I've said this a few times. You take 2021 minus 1776, that equals 245. What that means is 2 terms for the 45th president, which is President Donald J. Trump. We know he's the president who won the election. Trump won. We know that. Right now, a lot of things are being exposed. Just stay the course, stay faithful, stay strong. And I say that because so many people are looking for the instant answer. Faith is not instant. Faith is consistent. And right now, we're dealing with a deep cabal, the deep global elitists who are after we, the people, who are after the patriots. So it's so important. And that's why we were going live tonight without Facebook. Remember, we had upwards of 8,000 people live on Rumble. I have 40,000 followers in Rumble. So we were going live tonight without Facebook. But Facebook came back on right before it went live, right, Christy?
Yeah.
So we were going live. Now remember, I've been podcasting for years. We have well over 2 million people with the Conservative Business Journal podcast app on their phone. And I haven't showed this file in a while, but let me see if this file I believe is here. This is the podcast app, and right here, this is pretty awesome. Let me show this right here. So for those of you that have a smartphone, you guys can go right here, get your free Conservative Business Journal podcast app. You can download it on the App Store. It's available in Google Play, and just search out Conservative Business Journal, and you will see the app come up. And we got hundreds and literally over, I think, 2,000 episodes in there. You could put Lindell in and see Mike Lindell's episodes. You could put Judge Janine Pirro, put Pirro in, put Spicer in for Sean Spicer. I interviewed put in Mark Oz Geis for Oz from Bengal. Interviewed him twice. This isn't a game to me. I'm not in for just a few months. So it's so important, guys, because you have to make sure that you are listening and you guys are focused and you guys are empowered and you guys are encouraged. So it's very, very important for this, guys. And once again, I interviewed Brad during this one. When this concludes, you guys can rewind this and you guys will see a great sit down I had with Brad Barton earlier. out in Guntersville, Alabama. So any final points, Christy? So guys, good night. God bless you. Thank you once again. Just to answer all of the trolls that were on, we were going to go live with or without Facebook. We were going to go live through Rumble, and we were going to go live through, obviously, through our podcast app. So thank you, Jose. Jose, absolutely empowered, absolutely encouraged, and that's the key, guys. To be empowered and be encouraged. Feel stronger about yourself. Feel strong about the country. Feel strong about your conservative values. Stand strong, and guys, support conservative businesses. Capitalism, very important. Capitalism kills a deadly virus of communism. It's time that Christian conservative constitutionalists start to go out and support each other and build very successful businesses. As you know, I wrote a book 19 years ago on tithing. It's about godly values in tithing. So guys, good night. God bless you. And those of you that have ran across me on Rumble tonight, there's over 8,000. It was 8,000 people live on Rumble. Make sure you do follow us on Telegram. Telegram and Rumble are the two places right now, because I'm banned and censored most of the time on Facebook and Twitter as it is. So make sure you guys do follow us on Telegram at CBJ Real News. That's our channel. And Rumble is CBJ Real News. And thank you for supporting the Conservative Business Journal and 22 other patriotic artists, doctors, and entrepreneurs by visiting conservativemarketplace.com, conservativemarketplace.com. Good night. God bless. Thank us very much. You are awesome.